But, I think, conversations like this are good, not just because, anything other than people need to know what I think, what the media thinks, what, Cappy thinks and all these people, because, I think it was Volker that told me, he's like, well, he goes, here in the city hall, we don't have an opinion. That's your job. and he goes, and hopefully your opinion is based on what the citizens want. And I was like, okay, I'm not seeing that all the time, but let's just run with it, and stuff. So I'm fine with it. The city tells us, whatever we tell them, we want this on the agenda, then they will.
Yeah, well, it is. That's the way it works, right? You, the council that represents the citizens, Volker represents all of the city, it all funnels to him, really.
Right.
All the city work. So buck stops with him. But you guys represent all the various voices out there.
Yeah.
So he can say, he can clam anybody up on his end of the spectrum.
Right.
But you guys have to listen to everyone.
Yeah. The voices in my head are getting complicated.
Well, and that's another thing too. Now you're part of this group. This is a council. You say, for example, you say you're going to vote no on taxes or the raises if it comes to a vote.
Yeah.
But
in the raises, I wasn't completely against. It was just like, 3% for somebody that's at $150,000 a year with the city, as opposed to for somebody that works $50,000 a year. It's like, maybe we can just do
you wanted to
1%
look at it.
and then make it merit based. I'm fine with emergency services and stuff like that getting a little more, because I'm not a cop, because I don't want to pull someone over and get shot. I understand that. That's why even in our business we do first responder discounts and stuff, because I feel it's important.
All right, so what I was going to say is this, right? Now that you're part of this body, is that even if you individually vote no, the thing passes. So in order for, like yourself and others that want a specific agenda or things to change, you have to, either yourself or the populace out there somehow has to convince that the council, the rest of the council, to vote along the lines of what you're thinking, based of course on the request from the people, that and so that how do you feel about achieving that? How do you think are you going to be able to do that? The makeup could be very different once the election is done. You could have Levi could be back on there, back in, and
well, I guess because they have all the open meeting laws and stuff, so I get Cappy's my neighbor. I call him Cappy, but Ross.
Can we call him Councilman Cappy?
I do.
Okay, good.
But he's my neighbor. He's right there. So when he's mowing his yard or doing something with the tractor, we go over. His one horse just had a fold, and so we were there. And so it's harder to not talk politics when we're standing around.
Yeah.
But I can talk to him. I can talk to Derek. But if Derek turns around and talks to Cindy or somebody, now we violated that rule. So it's not splintered. It's like, I could talk to Cappy and he could call Derek and Derek could call that, and all of a sudden we've violated the rules. So it's kind of hard. How do I listen to all my constituents talking to me and then get it through to all of them? So all I can do is present what I think the people are telling me. And then hopefully at the council meeting, they'll go, yeah, I like that.
The others,
but they have their way of thinking too,
Yeah.
And so sometimes, Cappy will suggest something and I'll default to that because he's in logistics and trucking. If he thinks building something up on the hill is a good idea for his reasons, I go, well, that makes sense because you understand truckers have to stop every 5 hours. Why not here? Instead of pushing it to Wilcox, how do we, and they can't spend the night here, because all these truck stops don't allow them sleeping there, where like a bigger one would, and then they get up in the morning and buy coffee and breakfast. So now you've got a double dip on retail tax. So I'll default to him, and Derek, he's a smart guy on business and has his own business too, and he just has a more down-to-earth way of looking at things. But we can't all get together and go, okay, let's, because that's almost like price fixing it.
Right.
Let's do that.
You do have issues with getting too many, without announcing it, of course. You can always announce it.
Right.
But no, I think that, it seems, again, it's a good thing to be able to have a vote, but again, the consensus is what kind of moves, not legislation, but the rules along. So forming a majority, to get ideas done is important. So.
It can be difficult. That's why I think, if the public doesn't just tell me what they think is bad, but they talk to the others.
Oh yeah, to put the pressure.
Then at least when I say something to me, they go, yeah, that's kind of what they were telling me too. And it, a lot of people go, well, I think this and that. It's like, it really isn't what you think. It's what they think. They didn't hire me for my opinion to be on the city council. They didn't elect me for my opinion. They elected me to get their opinion done. And that's kind of how it works in America. So, I have all kinds of great ideas. But I'm not Elon Musk and I can't build rockets. So, they have to convince all of us that the majority of people in the town have talked to everyone, and we go, okay, I see what you're saying. And, maybe the city council or the working mechanism might go, well, yeah, but we need that money. It's like everyone in town said we're going to pass on this. So figure out a different way to make ends meet.
Yeah. Well, I hope that the feedback is good from the community. I mean, that seems to be, and now of course everyone now is much more sensitive, to trying to get the word out. So we know that change has come about, because of what's happened. So we know that's going to be the case. Everyone's going to try just a little bit more to just be more outgoing. I think you're going to see that from the council, no matter who ends up being there. So I'm going to give you a chance to tell me again. And I know we've talked about a few stuff, but this will be. I think we're getting close to that hour that we promised everyone it would be. Yeah. And so I appreciate your time today. So I'll give you a chance to make a little closing statement. Just let people know, obviously, why they should vote for you. How they can get a hold of you, or where they can get more info on your campaign, and that's it. How about it? Now you can actually tell the folks out there. Yeah, I know.
I like that camera better because.
Do you like that angle? It's more direct. All right.
Yeah, you can have that one.
That sounds pretty good.
Well, I think I didn't get into politics for any agenda reason other than it needed done. So I'm not a politician, I'm a business owner, and that's been my training my whole life. But what I think is important and what I really want to do is really represent the residents of the city. And we can't do that as a council if you don't talk to us also. That was the big thing. They're not listening to us. It's like, well, they're not responding, which made them mad. But I go, you're maybe not telling us stuff, which we were kept out of that loop. So just, let us know. I'm very open to that. And trust me, I am anti-taxation. That's not what the country was built on. It was built on basically no tax. And I like property rights. So I'm very vicious advocate over not letting people come on your property and tell you what you can and can't do. Because that violates the First and Second Amendment, And so if you wanted to turn your property into a church because you believe in that, and those are your beliefs, and then the city, any city would come on there and say, well, we don't like what you preach, because you don't like us. They're just going to go, well, your building's too tall, it's too green, it's too this, it's too that. Because if they said no, you would sue them. So to me, it's an infringement, and they use it kind of as a cudgel kind of to tell you how to use your property. You know, if you want to use one of your storage units out here to make pink widgets, well, it's 205 square feet. You can't do that. You know, you have to build it this size. And there's reasons for it, and it makes sense a lot of times, you know, for, you know, offsets and stuff where your shed don't catch on fire and burn your house down. But when you've got land around you and stuff, and you have your setbacks right, why can't it be 452 square feet? And you can, you know, run your business out of it. And that builds economy. You know, most of the economy in America is from mom and pop shops and small business. So those are the things that, you know, get to me is taxes and planning and zoning. I want my liberty back and I want my freedom back. And so I will preach that message. All people want me to do, they just have to let me know if that's what they're thinking.
Yeah, you like your liberties and that.
Yeah.
And well, and that's, you know, been a complaint for, you know, about people, you know, from the government basically, getting a little too, just too many rules, too many taxes, and you're obviously on the side of letting the people do their own thing and not have that edge on you all the time.
I've been an entrepreneur my whole life.
Yeah.
And if they're going to restrict me from doing that, then it just stops working. The organic part of it dies.
Well, cool. Well, I think you definitely represent, you know, an individual view there at the council. But, you know, again, the council's a group that hopefully is all working towards the better of Benson. You know what I mean? Ultimately, that's it, right? We're all wanted to be a better place. So where can people find you next? You know,
well, I have a website. It's markboyleforbenson.com.
Okay.
And you can join an email, and I put up articles once in a while and stuff. And then, you know, we have our email with the city, which I don't know it because I'm horrible, but I think it's just
it's probably your name.
Boyle at
I'll put it on.
Yeah, do that.
I'll look it up.
And I have a phone, but you know what? This is not that big of a town. This is not LA to where you got to go track me down. You know, I'll be at the 4th of July at the park.
Awesome.
I'm not sure if I'll be in the parade or anything. I might walk down the street and just shake people's hands.
Yeah, plenty of
like
opportunity.
that.
Half the time will be there.
Yeah. So, you know, just reach out and talk to me.
Awesome. Mark, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Everyone, so take a look at it. Mark decided he wanted to see all the videos continuously all at one time, so we're going to do it that way. I'm going to sew them all together so you have a chance to kind of listen, Mark, for about an hour.
There you go.
Perfect.
I
still have this one. So thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it.
Well,
No, that was great.
It's been fun. I really like your house and your
Well,
property
thank you,
here.
man.
And